So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the security features of the PDSA.NET Productivity Framework. Obviously, we have the nice login page, we have forgot password, all the typical things that you would expect for a typical application in .NET. And even though I'm doing web applications here, most of this does apply to Windows forms as well. So what we did in the last video was we hooked up a customer screen here, okay, through a menu item. And one of the things we can do is actually turn on and off menu items by using permissions. So let's go ahead and click on permissions here. And as you can see, we do set up several of them by default for you. There's just many available. But you can add whatever permission you want. I'm going to add one called customers, and I'm going to say that it is a menu permission. I'll go ahead and save that. And then what I want to do is, what we have is users, roles, and permissions, right? So a user can be a part of one or many roles. A role, like an administrator role, which we set up by default, can have one or many permissions. And I want to make sure the administrator always has all of them. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure he has the customers one. But let's add a new role. Let's add a new role called users. And I'm going to give him all the other permissions except for customers. And we'll save that. So I've set up a new permission. I've set up a new role. Let's add a new user now. And I'm going to add myself. And as you can see, we do have the appropriate security questions and answers, and these come out of an XML file, so it makes them very simple to modify. Give myself a password. You have an option of sending a password to the user via email, and then you choose what role you want for them. I'm going to put myself into the user's role here and then save that. So I now have an additional permission. I have a role, and I have a new user. Now let's go back to the menu items here. And on the customer's menu, you can see that the permission right now is no permissions necessary. Now all the other menu items do have a permission assigned to them. It makes it very easy for you to then turn on and off menu items, okay, based on, roles or whatever. And if I go in here, we can see all of them are marked as no permission. What I'm going to do is change all of the customer ones here. All the customer menu items are going to be changed so that their permission is customers. Okay, so let's go back here. And in this one, let's also set the main one to customers as well. Now that I've done that, if I go ahead and sign out, and then I sign back in as myself, remember I set myself up as a user, and I click on sign in, boom, customers is gone. Okay, so here's the thing, okay, even though that's gone, am I still allowed to do something like this? Can I get to it? Yes, by default you can. There's just a couple of options that we can set to make sure that they can't even do that. Okay. Now the first thing you have to do is down in the web config file, we have a ton of settings down in here that control various things. Okay. And one of the things that we have to check for down here is what's called our page security. Okay. Page check permissions. Okay. Make sure it's true. Okay. It is. That's great. And there's one other thing that we have to do is in your form itself, in the page init, you want to change the parent page name and make sure it's this name. Okay, make sure it's the same name that you want to say that this is the one that I've hooked up to security in the menu system. Okay, so simple little change. Let's go ahead and run that. And let's go ahead and log in again. Okay. Oh, sorry, I meant to sign in as myself, right? And you can see it's gone. Okay, now let's try to go to that customer's form, like so. And this time it acts like it doesn't even exist. And that's what you want. You want to pretend like it doesn't even exist. Don't tell them you don't have rights to get to it. Okay, it's better just to ignore it. Okay, so with just a simple little change here, we can make sure that everything is data driven. We can turn off and on menu items, okay, or actual pages, very quickly and easily. Now there's another aspect to security besides the page level and the menu security that we've just looked at, and that is turning off controls on a page. Let's go back to that user form that I had, and let's just edit this. Okay, so I know that I have this last name field here, right? And what I'd like to be able to do is turn that off based on a user's permissions, okay, or roles, either one, doesn't matter. Okay, so what we have is this security controls here, and the security controls, all you have to know is the path underscore the name of the page. Okay, so in this case it was, well, actually I don't remember. Let's go back here and grab it, and then let's go ahead and add. So it's maint underscore PDSA users form.aspx. You then have to know the name of the control. In this case it's txt last name. Do you want to make that control invisible or disabled? And do you want to restrict it by permissions or by roles? Okay, so I could say let's choose the administrator role for this. Okay, now let's save that. Now let's go into users again. Let's click on the edit here, and you can see that since I'm logged in as myself, right, I'm logged in as a user. I don't have the permission or the role. I'm not a part of the administrator's role, so this field goes away. Now I could actually remove the, label too. That's fine, right? But this is kind of neat because again, without any coding, I was able to go in, okay, and add this record here and say only administrators have the rights to see that. Yeah, that's kind of neat. All right, so log back in as the administrator. Okay, go back into maintenance. The customer menu reappears. I've got the user now. Okay, go in and we can see the last name again. Okay, so as you can see, we got permission categories, permissions, user categories, roles, users. We can assign users by role. We can assign roles by permissions. We got security controls. All of these things are just built in. No coding generally necessary on your part if you set up your pages correctly, and boom, you're done. The reason this all happens is because every single one of our pages inherits from this base page called web base page. This inherits from a PDSA base page, which then inherits from the Microsoft base page class. But because we do that, we can do all the security stuff underneath the hood, and you don't have to do any coding. Very quick and easy, great security model in the PDSA.NET Productivity Framework.